Previously on Cranes, etc. TV.
This review is a little bit different, and that's because we're looking at a pre-production version of a model. So that means that some particular aspects of it are not necessarily finalised when we look at this pre-production sample. The model is of the Gottwald AK680-3 mobile crane, and it's by IMC Models. In this updated review, we look at the final production version of the model. It arrives in a substantial outer shipping carton, and it tells us what's inside. There's no need to put this box on the weighbridge because if we turn it round, we can see that it weighs 3.63 kilograms. As usual, there's some knife work needed to cut the factory tape, and the first thing we see is some fancy bubble wrap, so we know the model is well protected. We can then lift out what's inside, and it's another shipping carton, and inside that we can see the box protected by foam rubber. Finally, we can carefully lift out the finished packaging. So here is the box, and as it says on it, it's the Gottwald AK680-3, and it's in the colours of Sarens. Moving around to the other side, and we see the Sarens logo again, and on the underside you can see this is a model for the Sarens shop, and it's by IMC Models. So it's a nice professionally printed sleeve, and let's open it up and see what's inside. As stated in the previous review, this is a resin model and it comes in its own display case. The production version comes with a cling film wrapping to keep it all nice and clean, and the effect of that is that it doesn't arrive with a load of fingerprints on it. Of course, if you really want to keep it that way, it would be nice to use a pair of cotton gloves. Once all the wrapping is removed, there's still some packaging, and that's a plastic former that's inside the display case. It helps to keep the model secured during shipping, and to get it out we just need to take off the clear part of the display case, and then the plastic former comes out easily. Once we've replaced the perspex part, the model is ready for display. At this point, let's take a look underneath the production version, and as you can see, it has a nicely finished base. Looking now at the model itself, and the carrier cab is very highly detailed, and that includes the UK number plate, which is where the real crane is based. The windscreen wipers are extremely thin, and the Gottwald name is sharply rendered. The real crane is owned by Sarens, so it comes in the famous Sarens colour scheme. Here's a close-up view, and you can see the fine detail of the windscreen wipers. And that detail continues inside the cab where you can see instruments and fire extinguisher equipment. Looking at the side of the cab, and there are finely drawn window sills, and there are orange lights and sharp graphics. There's diamond plated etching around the wheel arch, and other details in this view include a beacon light and exhaust pipe. The tyres on this sample don't have branding, but the production versions will have, and you can see which wheels have driven axles and which ones don't. The tiny access ladder is another really good detail, and the resin mouldings of the side of the crane are also highly detailed. And in general, the use of resin does allow higher detail in the mouldings compared to die cast. The colour and graphics are excellent, as are the small boxes and tanks along the side of the carrier. Moving to the centre of the crane, and particularly impressive, is the slewing ring. And you can see that there is plenty of hydraulic hose detailing. Also modelled well are the connection points for the outrigger beams. And of course on the real crane these are transported separately. Moving to the front of the crane, the hydraulic ram that moves the cab is modelled. And the main connection to the boom has chevron graphics, and the connection holes are properly formed. Moving to the back of the carrier, there are boxes, ladders and beacon lights, and there are some extremely thin ladder rings up onto the crane body. The crane cab detailing is terrific too, and that includes inside the cab, and on the roof there's a big beacon light array, and another detail highlight are the extremely thin protection bars above the cab window. The walkway on the cab deck is textured, and if we zoom in we can see that the ladder has detailed rung connections along the sides. and even the handrail connectors are modelled. There are tiny graphics on the windows and small lights above, and if anything, the windscreen wiper at the front is too thin. Taking a closer look at the rear of the carrier, you can see the ladder and beacon light and textured surfaces. And the rear light details are very nicely done, as are the long vehicle signs, and there's a spare wheel also. Interesting when viewed from the other side is this traffic cone, and hopefully someone in the comments can tell us why it's there. The exhaust pipe from the crane has a nice black hole, and the even bigger exhaust pipe from the carrier looks impressive. There are some different graphics on the opposite side of the carrier cab, and if we go up we can look down on the moving mast and see that on the model it is fully reeved up with good quality rope. Looking into the winch drums, they also look realistic with the rope windings, and you can also see a toothed gear on the rearmost drum. Also nicely modelled are the rollers, and the hydraulic ram for the boom butt looks particularly good. The pistons have a realistic looking section size. The production version has a high quality etched numbered plate, and another difference on the model is the colour of the rope used, which as you can see has a brand new steel effect. Another improved detail on the production version is the branded tyres, and you can see that the branding is crisp and easy to read. Another small change on the production version are the two tiny roof aerials on the crane cab. Let's put the production version on the Cranes Etc. weighbridge, and it's about £4 13 ounces, and that's just about 2.2 kilograms. The Gottwald AK680 is a unique crane that's been in service for over 40 years, and IMC models have made a special model of it. Although it is only a display piece with no moving parts, the level of detailing is terrific, and the production version of this model is very high quality. Overall, it is excellent.